The concerns are yours, and so is Dario and the Harris. Sword is yours, my life is yours, my heart is yours.
And so, Daenerys, without a single casualty, gained the second son's 2,000 riders. The next day, she summoned everyone. Let's plan our attack on Yunkai. Dario volunteers. He knows a secret passage. They can sneak in and take Astapor from within. Yora and Grey Worm must come, just in case. Yora objects. He thinks Dario is in league with the slavers. He wants to eliminate your advisors. After Yora's analysis, Daenerys ponders. She looks at Grey Worm, now a commander. Daenerys accepts Dario's plan. Late at night, they infiltrated Astapor. As they prepared to move, soldiers surrounded the trio, but the seasoned warriors stayed calm, unfazed by the ambush. They swiftly dispatched the soldiers. Before they could catch their breath, reinforcements flooded the streets. Daenerys anxiously awaited news. Yora and Grey Worm appeared at camp exhausted. Yora informed Daenerys. Astapor's soldiers refused to fight and laid down their spears, choosing to surrender. Daenerys was overjoyed, but then inquired about Dario. Her question dulled Yora's smile with doubt. Dario emerged behind them, presenting Yunkai's banner, declaring to his queen,
City is yours, my queen.
At dawn, Daenerys marched to Astapor's gates, awaiting 200,000 freed slaves to walk through. As time dragged on, the gates remained shut. Disappointment crept in. She told Yora, some grow fond of their chains. Suddenly, the gates swung open. Slaves poured out, 200,000 strong, halting before Daenerys, chanting Mysa, meaning mother in Old Giscari. Her dragon soared overhead. Crowds lifted her in triumph. Thus Astapor was freed. Another step toward the Iron Throne. This brutal punishment shocked all. A girl nailed to a cross. Barristan explained. Myreen's punishment for slaves. 163 such crosses ahead, marking the road. Daenerys recoiled, vowing to end slave masters. She refused to bury the crucified, demanding to see every face. From that moment, abolishing slavery became her vow. By dusk, they reached Slavers' Bay, Myreen. Ruled by so-called great masters, nobles watched her approach, but dismissed her threat, trusting their mighty walls to repel attack. The gates creaked open. A champion rode out. As confusion spread, he exposed himself and urinated toward her army. Nobles roared, with crude laughter, mocking the unsullied. Enraged by insults, Daenerys demanded a champion to answer the jeering rider, but hesitated to choose. Though volunteers stood ready, she feared their loss. Weighing the cost, Dario stepped forward, not unsullied commander, nor Queen's Guard, nor trusted advisor. She approved his bold offer. Champion charged. Battle commenced. Dario waited calmly, as hoofs thundered near, then winked at Daenerys, drawing his dagger. Myreen's champion fell to Dario's blade. Enraged nobles cheated, ordering archers to fire, but arrows fell short, out of range. Dario retaliated crudely, mocking their impotence. With nobles silenced, Daenerys addressed slaves. I freed 2 cities before you. I offer choice, not chains. Your true enemies are those who enslaved you and murdered your children. Catapults rolled forward. Confused nobles watched as she gave the order. Barrels hurled into the city crash against hardened walls, scattering debris across every corner of Myreen. These aren't siege weapons, but collars from cities freed by the mother of dragons, once worn by every enslaved soul. A former slave gazes at the broken shackle in his hands, eyes filled with fragile hope. Under the harpy's shadow, midnight cloaks Myreen. In uneasy silence, figures in slave rags emerge silently, unlocking the sewer gates below. They're Daenerys' unsullied soldiers. Elsewhere, slaves gather in Myreen's basements. Some wavered at the Dragon Queen's aura, their resolve shaken. No one wants a life in chains. But years of fear of the masters kept most from resisting. As they hesitated, Grey Worm appeared. He threw weapons into the crowd, hoping they'd fight back, overthrow Myreen's rulers. The next morning, a patrolling master discovered the harpy statue replaced by a banner. The surrounding alleys were filled with armed slaves. The slaves swarmed and killed the master. The Dragon Queen freed Slavers' Bay again, starting with Myreen. Seeing people call her Mysa, Dany couldn't forget the crucified children on her way in. She decided to punish the masters the same. Barristan took Dany aside. He thought these people were now her subjects. Mercy might be better than injustice, but Dany told him,
I will answer injustice with justice.
Dany didn't compromise, and punished the wicked. Standing in Myreen's highest court, Dany gazed toward home. She knew that moment was near. Dany happily watched her dragons. Drogon greedily pawed at her leg, quiet like a child. Rhaegal and Viserion fought over food. Drogon noticed dropped prey. Dany tried to soothe him, but saw his wildness. Dany saw them as her hope to reclaim her throne, but though they'd grown, they were less obedient. Before she could deal with the dragons, Yora brought bad news. Yunkai and Astapor, freed by Dany, after she left, were retaken by the Masters, who united for revenge. This news put Dany in a bind. It was unexpected. So, she abandoned her best chance to take Westeros and stayed in Meereen. Yora tried to dissuade her, but Dany said, "If I can't rule Slavers Bay, how can I rule the 7 kingdoms?"
Then
I will do what queens do. I will rule.
As ancient apex predators, dragons are born with royal aura. They are volatile and hard to tame. A boy idly passed the time when he saw a thrown stone hit something. Even the grazing sheep stopped. He was terrified when he looked closer. Drogon flapped his massive wings, overshadowing the boy. Then he flew over him, toward the fleeing sheep, spewing fire. Then he grabbed a roasted sheep and vanished. The next day, in Meereen's great palace, a shepherd brought Dany a package. Inside was a sheep burned to bones. His only livelihood, burned by Drogon. He had no choice but to seek Dany's help, hoping for justice to make up for his loss. Dany paid him triple its worth, satisfying the shepherd. But when a second man entered with a package, everyone grew grim. The old man shakily opened the package. Inside were a child's bones. The old man couldn't believe his granddaughter was gone. Everyone was silent, listening to his cries. Dany was shocked. A sheep burned by Drogon could be repaid. But how could she repay a life? And she hadn't seen Drogon for weeks. To keep her dragons from hurting people, Dany made a hard choice. She took Rhaegal and Viserion to Meereen's catacombs and chained them up. Watching her children fight for food, Dany was heartbroken. Dany had been proud of them. I longed for them to grow up fast, to become their own strongest protectors. Rhaegal and Viserion sensed abandonment, and sadly roared at Dany's departing back. But Daenerys didn't turn back. She was the breaker of chains for slaves. But now, for the safety of the people, she put chains on her own children. She gave them one last look, and tearfully closed the dungeon door. A boy delivered a letter to Barristan, Robert's pardon letter for Yora, now delivered to Meereen. Its purpose was to sow discord between Daenerys and Yora, and weaken her overall strength. When Daenerys learned the truth, it was a shock. She couldn't believe someone so close was a King's Landing spy at her side. Yora tried to explain and beg for forgiveness, but heartbroken Dany wouldn't listen.
Betrayed me. From the fact.
he's got easy.
Sold my secrets to the man who killed my father
I have
and stole my brother's throne. You want me to forgive you?
I have loved you.
Yora first confesses his love to Daenerys. At this most inopportune moment, fear of losing her kept Yora from revealing his betrayal. His weakness was exploited, breaking Daenerys' heart.
Until dusk to collect your things and leave this city. If you're found in Meereen past break of day, you'll have your head thrown into Slavers Bay.
Tywin sowed discord with mere words, turning Daenerys' closest allies against her. Daenerys soon ordered the Unsullied to topple Harpy statues across Meereen. This provoked retaliation from Sons of the Harpy. Using their knowledge of the city, they lured Unsullied into an alley. In the confined space, the Unsullied's weapons became liabilities. After brutal fighting, they suffered heavy losses. Grey Worm was gravely wounded. Barristan arrived to save them, but fell to an enemy ambush. Daenerys stared at the fallen knight, struggling to comprehend. Barristan had crossed continents to serve her, only to die in some alley, murdered by masked cowards. Daenerys seized Meereen's noble patriarchs, determined to make them fear her wrath. Under Dragonfire's threat, the nobles trembled in terror as she prepared to execute the second. Barristan's final warning echoed, "Don't become the Mad King." She stayed her hand. That night in the pyramid, Daenerys found Drogon waiting. Seeing her long-lost child, her heart swelled with joy. Betrayed by Yora, bereaved of Barristan, the blows left her spirit battered. Drogon's return offered a fleeting moment of peace, but dragons chafe at chains. Drogon refused domestication, launching skyward into the dark expanse. Daenerys watched him vanish, lingering in the night, with both advisors gone, and dragons beyond control. She arranged political marriage with nobles. The fighting pits reopened. Exiled Yora sought redemption, kidnapping Tyrion across continents, a desperate bid for forgiveness. But Daenerys couldn't forgive the man who betrayed her. She banished him from Meereen again. To reclaim his place, Yora entered the fighting pits. The champion earns Queen's Guard status. Watching him battle for her, Daenerys felt conflicted. couldn't bear watching him die, nearly stopping the match. But Bloodsport's rhythm allowed no mercy. Through sheer will, Yora prevailed. Suddenly, he hurled a spear past Daenerys, impaling an assassin. Sneaking up behind her, then masked warriors poured from the arena stands. They slaughtered indiscriminately, plunging the pit into chaos. The unsullied guard fell, one after another. Yora emerged from bloodshed, offering Daenerys his hand. This time, she accepted. Forgiveness found. Shielding his queen, they fled through tunnels, now blocked by Harpy forces. Every exit sealed. Forming defensive ranks, they retreated to the arena. Enemy reinforcements swarmed in, complete encirclement. The Unsullied fought valiantly, Yora and Dario cutting down, all approaching threats. But endless foes pressed closer, death just moments away. Daenerys met Missandei's gaze, recalling their first meeting. Following me brings danger and exile, but all men must die. Daenerys closed her eyes, calmly awaiting the inevitable moment. A sudden dragon roar pierced the sky, all eyes turned upward in terror. Drogon made a grand entrance at the last moment. Its roar echoed through the arena, seeing her child come to rescue her. Daenerys felt hope reignited. Drogon unleashed fiery wrath upon her attackers, breathing torrents of dragon fire. The surroundings crumbled to ashes instantly. The rebels retreated to higher ground, launching spears from a distance. His massive size hindered Drogon's evasion attempts, and gently removed the spears from his body, roaring in pain-fueled fury. Witnessing his mother's fearless stance, Drogon saw the queen he once knew. To protect her wounded child, Daenerys hesitated before climbing onto his back, embarking on their first flight together.
La.
Drogon charged through the crowd and soared, carrying his mother away from Meereen.